morning students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. So, have you done the practicing of the two fundamental operations, that is addition and subtraction? I think you have done a lot of practice. Okay, so today we are going to do the next fundamental operations, but before going on to the next, let's us revise the two operations that we have studied yesterday.
So students, the first concept that we have studied yesterday was addition. Addition of large numbers. So what is addition? Addition is bringing of two or more numbers or things together to make a new total. However, there are two parts of addition equation. First is addend and second is sum. What are addends? Addends are the numbers that are added together, whereas sum is the answer in an addition equation. After that, we have studied about the properties of addition. There are three properties of addition: order property, zero property and grouping property. Order property states that when the order of the addend is changed, the sum remains the same. Whereas zero property states that the sum of 0 and the number is the number itself. It means when we add 0 to any addend, the answer will be addend itself. After that, we have studied about the grouping property. What is grouping property? Grouping property states that if the grouping of addends is changed, the sum remains the same. It means that if we change the group of addends, the answer comes out to be the same. We have learned about these with the help of examples also. The next concept that we have studied yesterday was the subtraction of larger numbers. So, the subtraction means that the removing of some objects from the group. However, subtraction equation also has three parts: minuend, subtrahend and difference. Minuend is a number that is to be subtracted from, subtrahend is a number that is to be subtracted, and the difference is the result of subtraction. After that, we have studied about how to check the subtraction. For checking the subtraction, what we do? We just add the difference obtained and the subtrahend. If the sum is equal to the minuend, the subtraction is correct, otherwise there is a mistake in the calculation. And in the last, we have studied about the properties of subtraction. There are again three properties of subtraction. The first property states that the order of the numbers involved in the subtraction cannot be changed. Second property states that when the number is subtracted from itself, the difference is always 0. And the third property states that when 0 is subtracted from the number, the difference is the number itself. We have studied these properties with the help of examples earlier. So I hope you have gone through them thoroughly. Now let us continue with our today's topic. So the first topic that we are going to study today is about the multiplication of larger numbers. So the first question that comes in mind is that what is multiplication? The process of adding a number to itself a certain number of times is known as multiplication, or we can also say that the act or the process of multiplying numbers is called as multiplication. This multiplication can also be understood as repeated additions, or in other words, we say that when we multiply two numbers, we add as many copies of one of them. A multiplication equation has three parts. First is multiplicand, second is multiplier, and third is product. What is multiplicand? The number which is multiplied by another number is known as multiplicand, whereas the number of times the multiplicand is to be multiplied is known as multiplier, and the result of multiplication is known as product. We use a cross sign to denote multiplication. Now the question arises how to multiply the larger numbers. The multiplication of larger number is similar to that of the smaller number. First of all, what we have to do? We have to start multiplication always from the ones column. Then we have to move to the tens column and add the carryover to the number and so on. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Here I am multiplying 2,47,685 with that of 4. So first of all, I have to multiply 4 with that of 5, that is on the ones place. So 5 4 are 20. So I have written 0 in the ones place and taken the carry over of 2 at the tens place. After that you have to multiply 4 with that of 8, that is 8 4s are 32. So 32 plus 2 is 34. So I have written 4 here and 3 have taken to the 100 place and so on. After the completion of this process, I have got my answer as 9,90,740. So I think how to carry out multiplication is clear to you. Now multiplication can also be carried out with the help of an expanded form. There are two methods to do this. Let us take an example to understand this. Here I have taken the number as 54,286. So I have to multiply it with 6. So first step is write the number in the expanded form. So the number after writing the expanded form will be 50,000 plus 4,000 plus 200 plus 80 plus 6. Now we have to multiply 6 with each one of them and have to add it accordingly. So 50,000 into 6 plus 4,000 into 6 plus 200 into 6 plus 80 into 6 plus 6 into 6. So after that we get the answer as 3 lakh plus 24,000 plus 1200 plus 480 plus 36, and the answer comes out to be 3,25,760. Similarly, in the method 2, what I have done, I have written the number in expanded form and I am multiplying separately. Earlier we have multiplied together and have added, but now we are multiplying it separately and will add it in the last. So again 50,000 multiply 6 will get 3 lakh. After that 4,000 into 6 will get 24,000, 200 into 6 will give 1200, 80 into 6 will give 480 and 6 into 6 will give you 36, and at last after the addition the answer comes out to be 3,25,716. It means that whatever the method it is, the answers come out to be the same. Now let us move on with the multiplication of a 2-digit number with the help of an example. Here I am multiplying 756 with that of 32. Again, using the expanded form we can also do this. First of all, what you have to multiply? You have to multiply 756 with ones place digit, that is 2. So you have to multiply 2 with 6, 2 with 5, 2 with 7, and we'll get the answer as 1512. After that, since the place value of 3 is tens, so we have to multiply 3 with 756 and have to add 0 at ones place. So first of all, multiply 3 with 6, 3 with 5, 3 with 7. We get the answer as 2268. I have applied 0 at the ones place because 3 is at the tens place position. So we get the answer as 22,680. And at last what we have to do? We have to add 1512 with that of 22,680 and we get the answer as 24,192. Similarly, we can carry out the multiplication with 3-digit multiplier. Let us see another example. Here the digit is 45,322 and have multiplied it with 453. So after carrying out the multiplication, we get the answer as 2,06,30,866. Similarly, we can carry out the 4-digit multiplication also. Let us see another example. So in this example, I am multiplying 5,127 with 4,265, and after carrying out the whole process, I get the answer as 2,18,66,655. So the process of carrying out multiplication is very easy. Only you need to do is a lot of practice. Now let's move on to our next topic. The next topic is the properties of multiplication. Likewise, addition and subtraction, multiplication also has some properties. Let us take a look one by one. The first property states that the product does not change even if the order changes. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Here I am multiplying 689 with 702 and I get the answer as 4,83,678. Now if I change the order, like first of all I will multiply 702 with 689, I will get the same answer. So it proves that even if the position means order changes, the answer will remain same. Now the second property states that the product of any number and the 1 is always the number itself. It means if the multiplier is 1, the product will be same as the multiplicand. For example, if multiply 4,12,796 with 1, we get the answer as 4,12,796. The third property states that the product of a number and 0 is always 0. It means that if we multiply 0 with any number, however the big is or the smaller number is, we get the answer as 0 only. For example, if we multiply 6,36,958 with 0, we get the answer as 0. The fourth property states that even if the grouping of number is changed, the product remains the same. For example, let us multiply 62,346 with 2 and with 5. So if I change the group of multiplication, like I can multiply 2 with 5 first of all, or 62,346 with 5 first of all, or 62,346 with 2. Then after the multiplication also, the answer comes out to be 6,23,460. It means that whatever the group we form, the answer will always be same. So I think the properties are clear to you. Let's move on to our next topic. The next topic is multiplication by multipliers ending with 0. So for this you have to remember certain things. First is, when you multiply a number by 10, you add a 0 to the end of the factor you are multiplying. It means you just multiply the two multipliers and you will get the product as same and just apply a 0 to it. Like 8 into 1 is 8, and if we multiply it with 10, it will become 80. Similarly, when you multiply a number by a multiple of 10, you multiply the factor by the digit in the tens place and add a 0 to the end. For example, 8 into 20 will be 160. How come? Think 8 into 2 is equal to 16 and add a 0, you will get the answer as 160. Similarly, when you multiply a number by 100, you add 2 zeros to the end of the factor you are multiplying. So you just multiply 8 into 1, that is 8, and just add double 0 to multiply it with that 100 and you will get the answer as 800. Next is, when you multiply a number by a multiple of 100, you multiply the factor by the digit in the 100 place and add 2 zeros to the end. Like if you want to multiply 8 with 400, you will get the answer as 3200. How come? 8 multiply 4, 8 4s are 32, and just add 2 0, that is 3200, and you will get the correct answer. So it means if you have to multiply any number by the multipliers ending with 0, you just have to add the number of 0 it has. So in simple words, we can say that the multipliers ending with 0 multiplication can be done without actual calculation. You just have to learn the tables, you just have to multiply it and have to put a 0 over it. Now let's move on to our next topic. The next topic is lattice multiplication. What is lattice multiplication? Lattice multiplication is a method of multiplying two numbers using a grid. The whole procedure is equivalent to the regular long multiplication, but the advantage is that the lattice method breaks the process of multiplication into smaller steps. So let us take an example to clarify this concept. I have taken a 3-digit multiplicand here and a 3-digit multiplier here. So what are the steps? The first step is, what you have to do, you have to write the digits of multiplicand along the top horizontal side of the subsquares and the digits of multiplier along the right vertical side of the subsquares. Here my multiplicand is 789 and my multiplier is 461. So I have written 789 at the top horizontal top side, whereas I have written 461 with the right vertical sides. Now next step is, what you have to do, you have to multiply each digit of the multiplicand with one digit of multiplier at a time. Like here, first of all, you have to multiply 7 with 4 and have to write in the first box, that is 7 4s are 28. After that, you have to multiply 8 with 4, 8 4s are 32. After that, you have to multiply 9 with 4, 9 4s are 36. Similarly, you have to multiply in the next step 7 with 6, that is 7 6 are 42. 8 with 6, 8 6 are 48, then 9 with 6, 9 6 are 54. After that, 7 with 1, 7 4, 7 1s are 7, 8 with 1, 8 ones are 8, 9 with 1, 9 ones are 9. Now after this you have to carry out the addition. Now how will you carry out addition? You have to carry out the addition from the extreme right lower side corner here. So here on the extreme right corner here is written 9. So you just write down 9 here. After that move on to the next. The next digits are 8, 0 and 4. So you just add them and you will get the answer is 12. Write the 2 here and carry ones over the next one. Then add 7 plus 0 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6. You will get 27. And after that you just write 7 here, carry 2 over to the next digits, again add 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 of carry over and you will get the answer as 13. You just write 3 here, carry 1 to the next column, after that add 4 plus 8 plus 3 and 1 carry over, you will write 16 here and again carry 1. Now you have doing this, you have reached the top left corner. Here it is written 2, so you just add 2 and 1 of carry over and you will write it as 3. Now you have got your answer. How to read the answer? You will read the answer from top left to the bottom right. The answer of the product of 789 with 461 comes out to be 363,729, that is 3,63,729. So this concludes the topic of multiplication here. I think you have to do a lot of practice to clarify all your concepts. Let's move on to our next topic. The next topic is division of large numbers. So the first thing that you need to know is what is division. Division is splitting into equal parts or group. We use the divide symbol or the oblique symbol for division. Division also has different parts. The number which is to be divided is known as dividend. The number which divides the other number is known as divisor. The answer that comes out in division is known as quotient and the answer that is left over is known as remainder. So these are the 4 parts of a division equation. Let us understand division with the help of an example. Here I am multiplying 3042 with that of 5. So 3042 is dividend, 5 is the divisor. So let's start division. First of all, how you have to divide? You have to count the table of 5 until 30 comes in it. So you all of know the tables. So if we count the table, it comes out to be 5 6 are 30. So 30 you have to subtract from the 30 over written here. So 30 minus 30 is 0. Now next you have to note down 4 from there. Since 4 doesn't come in the table of 5, just have to note the 2 also from above side. After writing the 2, you have to put a 0 in the quotient because it is a rule. When you will note down 2 numbers from the dividend, you have to write 0 in the quotient. So we just write 42 here. Now let's count the table of 5 until 42 come. Again 42 is not there in the table of 5. So you will just write the nearby number. The nearby number that comes out in the table of 5 is 40, that is 5 8s are 40. So you just write 40 here and subtract 40 from 42 and you will get the 2 as answer. Now 2 will not be further divided, so we just write 2 as a remainder. So in this question 3042 is dividend, 5 is divisor, 608 is quotient and 2 is remainder. Now what you have to do? You have to verify your answer. For this you have to use a verification formula. The verification formula is dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Let us verify. Divisor here is 5, quotient here is 608 and remainder is 2. So 5 multiplies 608 plus 2. When we multiply 608 with 5, we get 3040 and we have added to it here. So we get the answer as 3042, that is same as that of dividend. So it proves that the question that we have done is correct. So this is the process of division you have to carry out. Now let's see another example of a 2-digit divisor. Here I am dividing 38,468 with that of 17. So 38,468 is the dividend, 17 is the divisor. After carrying out the division process, we found that the quotient comes out here is 2262 and the remainder is 14, and we have to verify the answer as well. So we use the formula dividend is equals to divisor into quotient plus remainder, that is 17 multiplied 2262 plus 14. We get the answer as 38,454 plus 14, and the final answer comes out to be 38,468, that is similar to that of dividend. So our answer is correct and it proves that we have done our question correctly. Similarly, you can further carry out the division with 3-digit divisor also. Let's see an example. Here I am dividing 38,535 with that of 125. So after carrying out the division process, the quotient comes out to be 308, whereas the remainder is 35. So you can carry out the verification yourself for this. So I think the concept of division is clear to you. Now our next topic is division by 10, 100 and thousands. So when we divide any number by 10, the digit in its ones place forms the remainder and the remaining digits form the quotient. For example, if we divide 347 by 10, we just find out the quotient is 34 and the remainder is 7. Similarly, if we divide 5681 with 10, we found that the quotient comes out to be 568 and the remainder is 1. So without doing the actual calculation, you are able to find out the quotient and remainder of the digit having 0 in it. Let us do the division by 100. So the rule states that when a number is divided by 100, the ones and tens digit of the dividend form the remainder and the remaining digits form the quotient. For example, if we divide 3 to 1 by 100, we just found that the quotient comes out to be 3 and the remainder comes out to be 21. Similarly, when we divide 7847 by 100, we just found that the quotient comes out to be 78 and the remainder comes out to be 47. Simple words, you can say that there are 2 zeros in the divisor. So the digit in the dividend at the tens and the ones place become the remainder and the rest of the digit will form the quotient. Similarly, we can carry out the division with 1000 also. So the rule states that when a number is divided by 1000, the ones, tens and 100 digit of the dividend form the remainder and the remaining digit form the quotient. For example, if you divide 9318 by 1000, you will find that 9 will become quotient and 318 become remainder. So I think the concept of division by 0 is clear to you. Let us move on to our next topic, that is the properties of division. The first property states that if we divide a number by 1, the quotient is the number itself. Like 285, when it's divided by 1, the answer will be 285. Similarly, the second property states that if we divide a number by itself, the quotient is always 1. That is, if we divide 285 by 285, the answer comes out to be 1. Our next concept is the concept of estimation in larger numbers. To estimate means to find something close to the correct answer. In other words, you are approximating. It means making a thoughtful guess. Your answer is not exact, but it is close to that. So what are the uses of estimation? Estimation is needed when an exact answer is not required, when you need to solve the problem very quickly, and when you need to check your work. So these are the uses of estimation. Now we will carry out the estimation in sum, subtraction, division and multiplication also. Let's go through the examples one by one. Here I have taken an example of 44,897 with that of 26,578. Now what you have to do, first of all, you have to round it off to the nearest thousand. If we round off 44,897, we just found the round off comes out to be 40,000. Similarly, for 26,578, the round off comes out to be 30,000. If we add it mentally, we get the answer as 70,000. However, the actual answer is 71,475. So our estimation is pretty accurate. Similarly, we can use the estimation for carrying out the subtraction also. Here I have taken an example of 52,187 and have subtracted 18,978. If we round off 52,000 to 187, we just found the answer comes out to be 50,000. Similarly, round off for 18,978, it comes out to be 20,000. So if you roughly subtract it, we just found the answer as 30,000. However, if we do the actual subtraction, the answer comes out to be 33,209. So our estimation is pretty accurate. Now, similarly, let's talk about the estimation in multiplication. To calculate the estimation of products or multiplication, we again have to round off both the multiplicand and multiplier. For example, 147 into 353. So, if we round off 147 to nearest 100, it will comes out to be 100. And similarly, if we round off 353 to the nearest 100, it comes out to be 400. And when we multiply 400 with that of 100, the answer comes out to be 40,000. That is approximate the same as the actual answer. Similarly, you can also use estimation in quittance. What you have to do? You have to estimate the quittant as well as the dividend. So here dividend is 38,917. So after rounding off, it comes out to be 40,000. Similarly, 45 is the divisor, and when we round it off, it comes out to be 50. And now it is easier for us to divide. So we just divide 40,000 with that of 50, and our quittant comes out to be 800, which is pretty accurate. So I think the concept of estimating is clear to you. Estimation is very easy. You just have to round off the numbers and have to carry out the calculations mentally. Okay, so with this our chapter is finished. Now let us recall what we have studied. First, each number in an additional sum is called an addend. Second, in an addition sum, the order of the addends can be changed, but the sum remains the same. Third, in subtraction, the order of subtrahend and minuend cannot be changed. Fourth, in multiplication, the order of numbers can be changed, but the product remains the same. Fifth, the product of any number and 0 is always 0. Sixth, dividing a number by 0 is meaningless. And the last, the sum, the difference, product and quotient of the two numbers can be estimated by rounding off the numbers suitably. So the chapter is done. Now what you have to do? You have to do the revision thoroughly. You have to practice the question a lot so that each and every concept will be clear to you. So I think you will do a lot of practice. Now you are done with your both the chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. So till then, keep practicing. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow with the new chapter. Okay. Bye.